Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting Travefy webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenters. This webinar will run about 30 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenters, Stephanie Grice and Scott Rutz. Stephanie is Travefy's Senior Client Champion and Education Coordinator and joined the Travefy team in 2015. She has helped create and grow Travefy Academy, Travefy's free educational resource for travel advisors. When she's not hosting a webinar or podcast, you can find her supporting Travefy users and assisting in marketing. And joining Stephanie is Scott, who is part of the founding team at Travefy and leads Travefy's marketing and sales efforts. Scott has a background in marketing and advertising, but has found a new home helping connect great technology with leading travel brands. And with that, take it away, Stephanie and Scott.
Woo!
Thank you.
Well, yeah. First of all, thanks for the intro. That I had a slide ready for you, so there it is.
We
And we're
forgot your
so-
We forgot your pump up music though.
That is true. Yes, the good old pump up jams. No, we're so excited to be here today and share Travefy with everybody. And we're a newer CLIA partner, and we are super excited to be part of the CLIA family. It's so exciting, and get to see some people in the face next month at the conference or at Cruise 360. So we're super pumped and excited for that. But yeah, I don't know, Scott, is there anything you want to add before I jump in here?
No, just to echo Stephanie, we're super excited. CLIA is an incredible industry. Obviously, as a affiliated organization and a supporter, we appreciate the leadership that CLIA has taken over the last year to really try to help push through the industry, give insights and guidance to advisors. Obviously, for the cruise industry, this has just been a crazy year, to say the absolute least, and incredible challenges. But looking forward, we've never been more encouraged with the opportunity that resides ahead of us as an industry. So for all of you cruising aficionados and connoisseurs, hold on, there's a wild ride ahead of you. And we just really appreciate and want to say thank you to CLIA for the leadership that they've provided, over the last 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're really buckle in. It's already happening. It's crazy. And so that's why this is also a really great time to have this webinar to show you how Travefy can help you, create these proposals and these trips and really just hit the ground running and also utilize it for marketing. So there's a lot that we're going to talk about there and explore here today. But really quick, to give you an agenda of kind of a rundown of what we're going to be talking about is first, we're really going to talk about how do you create that quote and proposal in Travefy. So we're going to start from that part, since that's kind of sometimes the beginning of the sales workflow. And then we're going to show you how that works as the itinerary. So one thing to keep in mind, you're going to see me build a proposal quote, and I'm going to call them both, so they're the same thing. But you're going to see me build a quote today first, but keep in mind that it doesn't, the way that I'm building it is the same way you can build an itinerary. So just, so if there's any questions about that at the end, or if you get confused, let us know. But you'll see it's, you'll understand how, pretty straightforward and how that works. And then we're also going to talk about how you can market your cruise trips with Travefy as well, because we've also added so many great features that allow you to market as well as create for clients you already have. So we're going to walk through all of that together today. But before we dive into all of that, I do just want to give a really high level of Travefy, because there's so many things that we could cover here today that we won't have time for. So I just want to give you a whole overview of this before we dive right in here. So if you've never heard of Travefy before, really bread and butter are itineraries and proposals. That's where we started out at. So we're always adding enhancements and features to that, but we've also added a simple CRM solution forms so you can collect information for your clients, and websites. And heads up, you'll get to see a little bit of websites here later there too. But a lot of these things we've added in the past year and a half. So if you have seen Travefy before and it was a couple years ago or a year ago, there's a lot in there you probably have not seen. So that's why I think it's really important just to kind of go through the high level there. And Scott, I feel free to chime in at all too.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention for anyone joining today, just sit back and take it in. See what's possible with Travefy, because the timing, you have a really great point in timing right now. The industry's ramping up, but we have not reached maximum craziness yet. So we're on the roller coaster ride and we're starting to head up. And so as months come over the summer and the fall, it's going to get crazier and crazier. We've chatted with a lot of different suppliers, for example, like Alex from Amo. Stephanie and I were chatting with him a month or so ago. He mentioned 2022 is their biggest year on the books on record currently. So meaning that there's a lot of action coming down the pipeline. And so my main point here is you have a window of opportunity to really rethink your systems, streamline what you do so that you're in a better position to capture more business as the industry continues to ramp up. Those that can process a higher volume of sales and better service clients and stay organized in the process are going to do much, much better in the long run. So today, take it in, see what's possible with Travefy, how it might fit into your current business processes and your client processes, and improving your client experience, making you look more professional, more efficient, but also I don't want you to stress out if you're just trying to take in a lot. You can schedule a one-on-one training session with us afterwards, and we can go through things step by step. So today, just take it in and try to see what's possible. And Stephanie's going to walk you through all of that today.
Yes, absolutely. That is one of the points that I was going to make too before we dive in here is you're going to see a lot. So definitely utilize, we have a support system for you, and we call support a feature because it's that important. And we are always here, whether you need a demo, you're not signed up yet, you just want to see it. You can schedule one-on-one that. Once you do get signed up, if you want to schedule trainings, as many as you want, whenever a question comes up, you can schedule that training and we can do screen share, call, walk through. But we also have a ton of videos available as well. So videos, FAQs, tons of things like that. So yeah, that's one of the most important things too. The other thing though that I want to mention about all of these that you can see here on the screen, these are all included in your Travefy subscription as well. So what's really great is after this, if you want to, you can schedule a free trial by going to travefy.com. And it'll look like this. I have this open here, and just click start free trial. And then you can go ahead and create a free 10-day trial. You'll have access to all of the features that we're talking about here today. And then you can test it all out. But then the other thing I want to note as well is that we do have a CLIA discount for you, which is really exciting. So I can come back to this at the end, but just want to throw it out there now that we do offer an additional 15% off the annual subscription, which actually makes it $26.35 a month. So we just round it up to 27, but really, really great deal there. So just want to throw that out there as well. But again, we can come back at the end and talk about that as well. But that was all that I had at the beginning. Now I'm ready to get into the fun stuff. Scott, are you ready?
Let's do this.
Do this. All right. So here we go, everyone. This is where the magic will start happening. So now what I'm doing is I'm in my account. So if you've never seen Travefy, this is what it looks like in here. And I have my profile. So you have like your branding, you can put your logo, and that way whenever you send a proposal or an itinerary to a client, they'll see all of your contact information at the top. So you can set all of that up. But what I'm going to do is I just want to dive in right here and just start creating a proposal. So I mentioned we'll create a proposal first. So what I'm going to do is click new trip, and then you can choose whether it's an itinerary or a proposal. Now, really quick, I do want to explain the difference that they're going to look the same. The itinerary builder and the proposal builder, they look the same when you're building it, but it's the way that it looks to your client, which you'll see here when we finish this, is that the proposal will allow your client to approve it, where an itinerary allows them to view it in the app or download the PDF, things like that. So that's really the biggest difference. And again, you're going to see this whole workflow once we finish this as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose proposal here. And then once this gets in here, now the thing that I want to do is just a couple main things. Every time that a user creates a new proposal or a trip, I always tell them just to set it up. So do things like change this cover photo. So this cover photo that you see right here can be changed just by simply pressing change cover photo. Now, we have thousands and thousands of stock free images that you can choose from. You can also upload your own, but I'm just going to quickly search Mediterranean because this proposal that we're going to do together is a Western Mediterranean cruise. So just to keep on with that theme, I'm just going to choose Mediterranean. And you can see there's just different photos I can choose from. And I'm just going to go ahead and select that. But again, if you want to put like a picture of the ship, you could do that. You could pull it in or pull from a website, things like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and save those changes. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a title. So right now the trip title is not there yet. So I'm going to click the settings button at the top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that trip name in there. And then you can also go ahead and set the trip start date. Now, if you don't know the trip start date, you can come back and fill that in later, so you don't have to put that in right now. But I'm going to go ahead and do it because I know the cruise that I want to pull in here. So I'm just going to go into April 2022. So it's going to be next year. So when the cruising is going to be full force. So I'm just going to save those changes there. And then you can see that I have this name now, and I have also a date. So you can see all of that listed in there. So again, just have it set up so that we can start building this out. So the first thing that I want to build in here is the cruise. That's what we're all here for. So I want to show you one of the coolest features of Travefy is that we have a database of cruises that you can quickly pull in their trip itinerary with. We have all the major ocean and river cruise lines in here. Now, how this works. So whenever you're adding something to Travefy, you just want to go into the day first and then you add a new event. Well, this cruise departs on the 17th. So I'm going to add a couple days here so that I can jump into April 17th. And then what I'm going to do is come over here to that new event button and click it. And then I'm going to choose cruise. And then this is where it makes it super easy because all you do is type in the cruise line. And in this case, we're going to do Norwegian. So I'm just going to type in Norwegian cruise line. And then you'll see all the ships available. And I actually want the Epic. So I want Norwegian Epic. So then you can see that the different cruise itineraries are going to pull in. So if there's multiple like this one, you could do the 3-day or the 7-day. You can select that. And I'm going to select the 7-day cruise in here. And then what's going to happen is it's getting that information, and now it'll allow you to see, make sure that this is the correct cruise you want to pull in. Because if you're noticing now, this is going to add all the days and all the ports of call and all the information in. So it's really important just to double check that this is the correct cruise that you want. And then when I add this to my itinerary, wait till you see what happens. It is really, really amazing. So it takes just a second here to pull it all in because it's going to pull in cruise descriptions, photos, all of the ports of call, as you can see here. And Scott, I don't want to take all the shine away. Is there anything that you want to add how incredible this is?
So it imports the cruise itineraries. A few important points in here. Comes in with, as you can see, deck plans, ship photos, maps of the cruise routing. All of that content is coming from the supplier, so from Norwegian in this case. So it's really fantastic content to incorporate into your sales process with quoting and proposal tools, but then also on final itineraries. In many instances, when I chat with travel advisors for the final itinerary, they're just supplying the core booking information. The itinerary doesn't look that extravagant or super professional. And so a lot of travel advisors we work with love Travefy because they can enhance it, make it look more professional with the integrated content that's built in, like the cruise itinerary that Stephanie just imported, but then also adding in more photos, city guides, and other content. Stephanie's going to walk through that as well.
Yeah. So this is a lot. This is so much information that you could use. And if you want to add anything, you can always edit anything that's provided to you from Travefy. So if you click that pencil icon, you could come in here and you could add things in here if you wanted. So you can always include more photos if you wanted, attach documents if you have like a PDF, confirmation, things like that. So you can always add that. But we're going to show you different ways that you can add information too. So you can really add a lot more. So this next thing, now that we added just the main basic itinerary of the ship, we want to provide you with some tips and tricks during this webinar too. So one of these tips, and this is Scott's tip, so I cannot take credit for it, but this is a really cool one where a lot of agents will do they'll create their own event that says meet your ship. So it'll add a little more information extra about like, here's why the ship, is great. And so to do that, I'm just going to do this together so that I can show you what I mean by this. Is I'm just going to click the new event button, and then I'm going to check the info event. So that's the type of category this is it's just information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the title. I'm going to say meet your ship, Norwegian Epic. And then what I can do is I could go into add some notes, and I actually have Norwegian Epic Cruise just pulled up here. So what I just want to show you how easy this is. I'm just going directly to the supplier website. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this blurb that they've included and then write that in. And then I'll just leave it as that. Now, of course, you could add more if you wanted, put in your own expertise. This is a great place to do that. But then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add photos of this particular ship as well. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here where it says multimedia and then just click on that option to add up to photos. Now you saw this earlier where we could add from our database, but I want to show you a cool way where you can actually add from the website directly. So I'm going to click the website option. Now I'm going to go back to Norwegian, and I'm literally just copying that website. You'll see it right there. I'm just pasting that in. And when I click get images, what's going to happen is Travefy then crawls through that site and tries to find photos that you can pull in. So you can see here that all these photos that I'm able to pull in, I can choose up to 5. And then now all I do is save changes, and there they are. How easy is that? It's super, super simple. We're going to do this some more during this demo too. We're going to pull in more photos that way. But another thing you can do too is you can also include videos. So in this case, I went to YouTube and found the Norwegian Epic video. And I'm just going to click the video option here and copy and paste that in, add that video, and voila, check it out right down there. And then I can also drag and drop this to the beginning, so that way the client sees that first. And that's all we do. So
that's
now it's
incredible.
Just,
yeah. The video embedding option is by far my favorite feature of Travefy because if you're not currently using video in your sales materials, my professional opinion, you should be. Video is extraordinarily engaging and can communicate things that otherwise you would not be able to communicate in your proposals and itineraries. It helps get the clients more engaged, more excited about the trip that or experience you're presenting to them. And you have access to so many incredible videos through your suppliers or the destination marketing organizations that you work with. And there's just a wealth of that content on YouTube or Vimeo that you can pull in and still be able to choose from the official content from those suppliers. So this makes it super easy to do that. It does not send your clients off to YouTube into the jungle and get distracted with other videos and other things. It keeps that video and keeps your client directly on your proposal or on your itinerary. So it's really effective in that manner.
Yeah, and just to show you what he means by that, let me show you here. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but check that out. That's all it does. So then that way they can watch it on the same screen. So really, really amazing. Now, another thing that I want to point out is another feature in Travefy that we highly recommend using is called the library. And the library is what you see on the right-hand side of my screen. And this is basically where you can save content to reuse over and over again. So this Meet Your Ship Norwegian Epic that I just included, this is something that you're probably going to use again. So just go ahead and if you click that Save to Library button in the bottom left-hand corner, once you click that, that'll save to your library. So the next person who you're creating a trip for who's going on the ship, all you have to do is search for it and then drag and drop it in when you need it. Super simple. So again, keep in mind that when we're manually creating this stuff, you can save it and reuse it over and over again. So really great option there. So now the next thing that I want to talk about is adding cabin options, because again, this is still in the quote proposal stage. So you're probably wondering, how do you add those different options? Well, what I would recommend is if you click the new event, and I'm still on that first day, I'm just going to click new event, and I'm going to choose lodging because that's the type of activity this is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say add lodging information manually. Because by doing that, now I can just fill out this information myself. So I could go ahead in the title and say cabin option and pricing. And then what I would recommend next is you can fill out this stuff. You can see there's a pricing field there. So if you want to fill it out, you can. But one thing that I like to do is if you click the add notes part, you can come in here and start adding all types of information. But you can also include a table. So this is a great way that if you want to break down a couple different options for them, use the table. And just to show you an example, I have one here. Let me copy. I'm going to copy and paste this in just to show you. See how now I can go ahead and just use this table, and I have like the pricing built out. So I could do it that way. And then, of course, if I wanted to add those photos, I could copy and paste from a website or just to show them the differences of them, things like that. But that's just one thing that I always like recommending when you are showing those different pricing is to, you could include it in this main part, but I like sectioning it off into its own event. That way you can really explain the options and what pricings are reflected with each one. So that's for the cabin option pricing. The next thing that I want to show you here is you're probably wondering, how do you add tours and excursions in here? So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I'm going to go into April 19th, so the day that they stop at Naples. So I'm going to add, since this is a quote, I'm going to add an optional excursion. Now, this is one thing, even if this was a trip, we always highly recommend putting in these tours or excursions, even if they aren't booked, because they can't book what they can't see. So it's such an easy way to just add all those tours that they could book in here that you think they would like. So I'm going to add one here just manually to show you how this is done. So I'm just going to click the new event button, and then I'm going to choose activity. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to copy and paste. And again, I went to Norwegian's website and I had this ready to go. So really easy. I'm just copying and pasting what they have. In the notes section, that's what they had about the tour. So I can add that in there. And then you can also add links if you want it in here. So if you want to add a link, like click here to book or click here to get more information, things like that you could do. You can also put, add things like the times and prices. So we could say this is, an 8-hour excursion. I can also put the price for this. So I can say it's, 236 in USD, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, let's add some photos because as we've seen, it's extremely easy to do. So might as well add a little bit of extra there. So I'm just going to click in the multimedia section again. And then when I do that, I am going to go to the website because that's what we want to pull from. So I'm just going to paste in that link from Norwegian Cruise Line. This one doesn't have as many photos, but it still is something. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those two. So then I'm just going to say done editing. And there it is. See how simple this is? That's why I wanted to walk through that because it's so easy to add information like this, especially when you pull up, the supplier's website, just copy and paste, bring in some photos. And then again, to take it a step further, I could save this to my library and it's ready to go the next time a client's traveling there. So really simple.
Yeah, super simple. And think about with how you like to present proposals or itineraries, that a lot of times you'll be working with a lot of the same destinations, ports of call on a regular basis. So having said that, in chatting with a lot of different travel advisors, they like to do a few different things. There's some travel advisors that like to be kind of hands-off and try to grab any of the easy commissions that they can and allow clients to kind of browse and self-book on their own using affiliate links. So if you have a affiliate link with certain excursion services, whether it's a Viator, Expedia, TAP, whatever it might be, that you might be wanting to send clients to be able to self-book, you can do that. I would create a general library item that says, book your excursions here, and then include a link with your affiliate link in there, so it tags the client with your affiliate link, and they can self-book through that. Now, having said that, there are other advisors that like to curate a little bit more, offer more specific content. Very easy to do that. When you work with a lot of the same destinations and ports of call, you know which excursions are really popular with clients and which sell the best. I would start to create that content in your library, similar to what Stephanie just walked through, and then save that. You can organize it and make it really easy to add in on future cruise proposals and itineraries. You want to make it as easy as possible for you to be always offering those upsell opportunities to maximize the business and not be leaving money on the table. Clients are looking for those experiences. They want your expertise of what are the best experiences while in that destination. So you can do that whether it's with a actual cruise line supplied excursion, or if it's through an independent operator, you can do it either way and save this to your library.
Yeah, it's really, it becomes a big game changer when you get those in there, can bring them right in. So yeah, great points on there. But now the next thing that we want to add here is I want to add pre-cruise information because that's also something you would be adding, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the top here and I'm going to go on to that Friday. That's why I made this April 15th to give some room for pre-cruise information. And I'm just going to simply bring in the flight. So I do want to show you how flights work because it's, again, it's so easy. It's very similar to the cruise because all you have to do is click new event, choose flight, and then you can look it up. It's, again, just like the cruise. And this flight, I'm just gonna look up here. It's American Airlines flight 66. Go ahead and type it in, click get info, and then you can just go ahead and check out, is this the one you need? And I'm just gonna say add to itinerary. And there it is. You can see it even adds it to the next day, like how it should, and it has the correct time zones, all of that in there. And of course, again, if you want to go in and add seat assignments or any information upgrades, things like that, you can put that in there. And then the other great thing about this is that this will be tracking. So once this converts into an itinerary from the proposal stage, it'll start tracking the flight information. So if it gets delayed or canceled, you and your client will see that. So that's another way why this is just really great, especially pulling in those flights. It's easy and it keeps tracking it, which is exactly what everybody wants. So really easy there. And then the last thing that we're going to add here, well, actually two more things. One more is the hotel, because I do want to show you how you do add a hotel. So what you would do if they were staying one night here is just say new event, and then we choose lodging. So we want to choose that one. And then I'm just going to put in this El Palace of Barcelona that they're staying at, or that I'm recommending them stay at. So I'm going to put that in there. And then you can also do the checkout date, which is going to be the 17th. So I'll leave that as it is. And then just say add to itinerary. And it'll add the check-in. And then you'll notice it adds the checkout. But we can rearrange this so that it adds it towards the beginning. So there it makes more sense. So that you have your checkout automatically. But then, of course, let's add more information because there's not too much here yet, and we really want to sell this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click that pencil icon again to edit this, and then I'm going to click add notes. Again, I am just copying and pasting from the supplier. And then what are we going to do? Add photos because it's so simple to do. So I just want to make this look as beautiful as it can. So I'm just going to add some photos. I can choose again, up to 5 in here that I want to use, and then just say save changes. Again, feel free if you want to save that to your library to reuse again, you could do that. And then I'm just going to say done editing there. And then now we have our pre-cruise info. That's all we need. If you need to add more, you can, but pretty simple. But now one last thing that I do want to show is Scott had mentioned this a little earlier about the city guides. So we have destination content over 600 and I think 50 places worldwide at this point. And this destination content is tons of information that looks amazing on a proposal or also a trip. Now, in this case, I am going to add one to Barcelona because that's where they are going to. So to add this, what you're going to do is go to the right side where your library is and click City Guides, and then go ahead and type in the name of the city you're looking for. So I am looking for Barcelona, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. Now I can add this entire city guide, and I'm going to do it just to show you how much information and what it's going to display. But you can drag and drop it right in, but you can also pick and choose sections. So if you don't want to add everything, you can just say, I just want a couple of these sections in there. But I added the entire guide, so it added all these sections, but you can see that it adds just a basic overview of the city. It gives you things do and see, And there's a lot, as you can see. There's a dining. Some destinations will have additional sections as well, but all of this is customizable like everything else in Travefy. So if there's anything that, if you want to get rid of this, or if you want to remove places or add your own places, you can do that. It's totally available to you to edit that content for your client.
That's cool, but can I create my own city guides?
Yes, you can, Scott. So to do that, to create your own city guide, what I would recommend is do new event and then choose the info option. And then once you do that, there's actually a subcategory for city guides, and then you can just start building it. And then, of course, what are you going to do with it? Scott, what are you going to do after you save?
Save it to your library.
Save to the library. Yes, of course. And a lot of users do that. A lot of users will do this, especially for the cruising. You know, they're hitting so many different destinations, and maybe you just want to create your own because you've been there. You know what they're going to like, what you'd recommend. So you do have that option, which is great.
The city guide content's super fun. Helps you look really professional and increase the quality of the proposals that you're sending clients without spending hours researching all of this information and building it yourself. It's ready to go. Literally take it off the shelf and put it into your proposal. The other thing that I like to point out, many advisors will quickly ask, well, that looks great, but where's all of that content coming from? The vast majority of that content is being sourced from the local tourism boards or destination marketing organizations. So it's really well vetted, stays pretty up to date. But then as Stephanie mentioned, you can always make a customization or an edit to it if you ever need to.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's so much great information. And these are especially nice for just those quote and proposals where you're trying to add more, interest into it there. But now for the fun part. Let's see what we've created here together. So I'm just going to click the preview button at the top here. And this is what it's going to look like for your clients. So as I mentioned earlier, your logo and contact information will be up here. This is just my demo account. And but basically you'll see as you scroll through all that information we've added. We have, here's that hotel. We have all those city guides. Now this is going to be a lot of city guides in there. So I'm just going to jump to Sunday. You can skip around to different days. I can click and view these photos, expand them if I want. It's all here. So you can see it looks really amazing, really easy to view. You can view this on mobile or on your mobile device, tablet, computer. And all you need to do is just get this link to your client. So you can grab that link at the top, but you can also just click the send button in the top right-hand corner, and you can get the trip link from here. You can also email it directly through Travefy. And if you email it directly through Travefy, we're actually able to track if they've opened and viewed the trip. So that's kind of a nice way to do it that way. You can see where it says no clients invited yet. So then it helps you, remember, did I send this already? You can see that you did, things like that. But now, since this is a proposal, now you'll notice at the top where it says approve proposal, this is where they actually get to approve it. So I can click the approve proposal button, and then I can come in here, and I'm just going to make up a name just to show you. Here, we'll just pretend this is a one, and they can sign their name or put their name and email address, approve it. And then what happens, it's a really simple process. All that's going to happen next is say, congratulations, you've approved it. And then the client will receive a PDF copy of what they approved. But then you also receive an email letting you know that they've approved it. And then when you go into your Travefy account, you'll see that it says approved now, and that there is a PDF copy that you can open. So it's nice to have that if you ever need to go back for reference, look it up. But then notice how this now has turned into an itinerary, because when we preview it, see at the top how it says app and PDF? It's a new thing now. So really easy. It's that simple. So it's really great. I just wanted to walk you, and that's why I wanted to start with the proposal, because I wanted you to see the process and the workflow of what that looks like. But again, you don't have to do it that way. You can create it as an itinerary first, and that's the only way that it goes. But you can see it looks the same way in there. So that's the great thing there. But now the next thing I want to talk about is now, because I know that we're coming up on our time very quickly, but I want to talk about marketing the trip first. But before I do that, Scott, is there anything I'm missing really quick before I jump into the marketing side?
Go for it.
Cool. Okay. So marketing. So you're probably wondering, okay, this is great, makes sense, but how do I market these trips? Well, I'm going to show you a couple different ways. So the first one, and probably the most popular way, is to share this on your Facebook page. It doesn't have to be Facebook. It could be Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to put it, promote it on your website even, because if you remember me saying, all you need is a link to view this trip. So if I take this trip and I copy that link up at the top, or if I go in, another easy way is just to go in, click the send button, click get trip link and copy it. I could go to my Facebook, which I have already started a post here. This is going to be on Travefy's Facebook page. So feel free to go check it out at facebook.com/Travefy, and you'll see what this is looking like. But what I'm going to do is I just typed in my message already. And then I'm just going to paste in the link to see Travefy and check out what it does. It has this information already in there, and I can just go ahead and click post. And you could also put a description, which I didn't add in there earlier. That way it has more information. But see though how it just automatically has this. It has your picture, your title, and again, you can add a description too so that there's more text down there. But then when I click on it, just takes me here. So really it's that easy. It's really, you're just literally copying and pasting.
It looks like it's using the Travefy.com link. What if they have their own website? Can they use their own website?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because yes, we have domain masking. Now domain masking, if you already own a website or a domain, you are able to mask that domain in your Travefy account, and it's for free. It's really easy, but also we understand that not typically you're not doing things with domains. So we also offer trainings where we can get on a call, help you set up that domain with you. But yes, you can mask it so that way it'll say your company name in there. So again,
yeah, so that's great. So pull up the itinerary, the proposal there, like in the Travefy share link. Yeah, so just to be specific, the Travefy.com, that's just by default. If you see in the link in the URL bar at the top of the browser, you can incorporate your own custom website domain with the domain masking feature in there. So that way, every time you send a link to a client, every touch point's really professional and branded that way.
Yeah. So that's one great thing. And this actually this pivots us in really well to the one last thing that I want to talk about was the website. So the website builder, I mean, we could have a whole webinar just on the website builder, but this is another great way to market your trips is to utilize our website builder, and you can domain mask that. So that's where that domain masking comes in. And that's why we have that also, is not just for the trips, but also for your website. But to access your website builder, you just go to your name and then click the website option. Now, one thing I want to mention before I go further is that even if you do already have your own website, that's okay. I still recommend using this to market trips with. And the reason why is since this is built through Travefy, you can actually bring in trips to this website really easily. So that's the tip I was going to share, is that this website builder, of course, we could go in depth and talk about how you build it, but there is an element. This website builder is built by elements. So it's really simple. It's easy because it's drag and drop. So you basically just use the elements we have and drag and drop it into the order you want and then customize it. So it's really easy. But the great thing is that we do have these elements available to you where you can actually sync in your trips that you've created in your Travefy account. So if we wanted to create that trip that we, or put in that trip that we just built, what I could do is just edit one of these trips in here. And then if I edit this, it'll say import from Travefy. And I can click that and then just click trip. And then it'll have all the trips that I have. And here's that Western Mediterranean cruise. And then if I wanted to, I could put a different description or a different heading in here. So I could remove like Smith family, whatever I wanted, and then just save that. And then what this looks like, oops, oh, I didn't save it right away. Hold on, let me do, I think it's in there. Might have to publish it. But basically what it'll do then is that they'll be able to click view trip, and it's going to take them to view it like this, except for at the top it'll have a contact button, marketing option there. So I know that sounds kind of a lot all at once, but just a heads up that you can do all of that. And then we do offer trainings also, and we have webinars specifically for building that website. But I just had to show that because it's a great way to market.
Yeah, if you're specializing obviously in cruising, there might be certain packages or promotions that you want to push from time to time, or if you're selling group cruises where you actually want to create sort of a marketing landing page of all of the group cruises that you're marketing in the upcoming years. This is a great way to display those. And then you can also in Travefy create inquiry forms and add those to the trips so that people can actually submit an inquiry. So lead generation, you can start capturing leads within the CRM in Travefy. Now, we won't have time to get into all of that during the webinar today, but just to hint at that, it's a really full circle solution to be able to create a marketing landing page or website builder, generate leads and gain inquiries through that, and then start producing quotes and itineraries from that point as well. So it's a really comprehensive solution for that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I got this pulled up here so we can see the preview of like what that would look like. And if you click that view trip, this is what it would look like. And then of course you can add like those forms and all that too. So so much you can do in there, which is it's awesome. There's a lot of different options for you. But I think okay, so with all of that, that's what we had planned for today. So let's get into those questions because I'm sure there's a lot of different questions in there.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Scott. That is such a wonderful, easy tool. And we do have some questions coming in. We'll start with this one. I think it makes sense to start with from Tay or Ty, who is wondering, how do agents sign up? What is the link? What's the process?
Yeah, that's the perfect question to start off with. So just go to travefy.com. And then when you go there, let me see where I had it. You'll be able to just click the button that says start free trial. And then when you do that, you'll just be able to put in your name, email, create a password, and that's it. And then once you get in there, you'll have access to everything. So everything that I went through today, you'll have access to the website builder. You even have access to the forms we were talking about, all of that good stuff. But then also when you get in there, definitely feel free to ask us or schedule demo. If you need to check out our videos, learn things, we have a getting started guide, all kinds of things in there.
Awesome, thank you. And this next question is from Shirley, who is grateful for all of the information that you presented. And I know that you mentioned that you do tons of training. So Shirley is wondering, do you have any live training? If not, how do agents get more training on Travefy?
Yes. Oh, we have so much. We have a ton. So if you go to Travefy, well, there's two ways. So if you're in your account, you can actually just click the help button in the top right-hand corner here, and this will take you to travefy.com/support. So you go to travefy.com/support. And in here, this is where you're going to find everything I was talking about, where you have the getting started guide. If you are new, you want to book a demo, just check it out, see if it'd be good for your business. Already a user, you can schedule a training in there. We also do have weekly webinars. So we have webinars on all of these different topics. That way they're just kind of broken down and shorter. So if you ever want to schedule those, and then of course you can contact us via email, but we also have live chat in your account. So you can, if you ever have a quick question, just ask us in that live chat. But then here you'll see where you can schedule things and then those videos, all kinds of stuff. So travefy.com/support. Otherwise, feel free to, you can also just reach out to us and we can provide you with the link to schedule.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Regina, who is wondering if you can add travel protection as well as a waiver for those who don't want it.
Yes, yeah. So you can add that to any trip in here. So one place where I would recommend adding that is, so in here you can always just create, since you can create things manually, you can always just create a new event that's for, insurance. But there's this area at the top that I didn't actually get into that's called information and documents. And this is a special section where if you have anything to include that's outside of, the trip each day, this is a place where you can say, new information item, put in the title your insurance information waiver or whatever, forms. You can also attach documents in there. So you can include all of that right in that section.
Okay, great. And our next question is from Kimberly, who has a question about pricing. Is it possible to pull in group pricing that you're able to book into?
Oh, you mean, for like the quoting and proposal, I think.
Yes, I
So
believe so.
So a quick thing on that, in terms of Travefy, so it's not necessarily a booking platform. Now, where it will become useful of how you can use it to add more efficiency and streamline the approval process with clients, you can communicate group pricing within the proposals or itineraries that you're sharing in a marketing format, but then also you can create forms in Travefy. Now, in the forms, you can actually lay out the entire booking form of all of the information that you need, of laying out the different cabin types and room categories, things like that within there with multiple choice questions, laying out pricing with tables, and then also having any type of acceptance and waivers built in there as well, terms and conditions, etc. And then you can add in an e-signature component. Now there's also a credit card authorization option in there so that you can securely collect and store client payment details to then for the agent to be able to view the payment details and apply those towards a service fee or apply those towards a supplier invoice in there as well. So I wanted to clarify that because a lot of agents will come in looking for like a traditional online booking platform. That's not what this is. This allows you to kind of streamline what you do, but can complete a lot of those same steps just in a slightly different way and make it a more efficient process in the same rate.
Yeah. Yep. And I just pulled up the form to show you an example of what it looks like. It's really easy to do because all you do is you just create your question one by one, and you can choose like what type of response do you need? Do you need like short answer, long answer? There's that credit card authorization. And then you can make them like required and all of that. So everything that Scott was talking about, you can just build right in that form builder.
Okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense. And I think, Scott, you did just answer this question, but just to clarify, Joyce is wondering if you can add a payment link to the itinerary or the proposal on the itinerary.
Yeah, so two different options with that. Within Travefy, you can create your own custom forms with credit card authorization forms built into it. So if you want just a simple, streamlined, easy way that's mobile friendly for clients to be able to securely submit payment information through Travefy, and then you can retrieve those payment details to apply towards an invoice or service fee, that's built in. The other option, maybe you have a PayPal or a Stripe account, Square account for processing service fees, and you just want to be able to quickly put in a payment link to a payment page that they can submit a deposit payment. You can do that through Travefy as well, and you can just paste in that link to the top of the itinerary or form, whatever it might be.
Yeah, yep, yeah, you can add links anywhere in here. And like one example is you could put it in any event in here, but if you go into the settings, there's that description. That's what I was mentioning that earlier of descriptions, and this appears at the top of the trip. And you could add a link in here. So you could say like make payment here or whatever it would say, and you can highlight that and actually include a link. So you could do that right in there. And it's the same way too, just like doing it in there that you would do in any events. You could create an event with a breakdown of pricing and then click here to make that payment.
Okay, perfect. And this next question is from Olden, who is wondering if you can review what the subscription costs. And I believe, Stephanie, you mentioned there was a CLIA discount as well.
Yes, yeah. Yep. So with the subscription cost, so you can subscribe monthly or annually, and monthly is $39 a month, or if you go annual, it's $31 a month typically. But with CLIA, you get an additional 15% off that annual subscription. So it actually makes it, and again, I said 27, but it's like $26.35, I think, a month. And so let me give you, I wrote down the exact price in there, but basically what you want to do is at checkout, just go ahead and make sure you choose the annual subscription, and at checkout, add the promo code CLIA annual 15, and you'll see that. And it makes it $316.20 for the year, which again, broken down is the $26.35 a month. So great deal.
That is a great deal.
Yeah.
And it looks like we just have one more question from Marjorie, who is wondering if there is a limit to the amount of proposals that you can create in Travefy.
Yes, no limit at all. You can create as many as you would like. So that's what's nice. You can create your proposals. You can create the actual booked trips that you want, your own trips, trips for marketing purposes. It's endless. So yeah, you can create as many as you'd like.
Okay, awesome. And it looks like those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, Stephanie and Scott. This was an amazing overview, and I can't wait for everybody to try out this amazing tool. And
Yeah.
I hope everybody joins us at Cruise 360 at the Diplomat Beach Resort in Florida. And you'll be able to see Travefy on the trade show on Thursday, July 29th, I believe it is.
Yes. Yeah. I will be there. Scott, unfortunately, I don't think he'll be at this one, but we
No,
will be there.
it's one of my favorites, but I drew the short straw. I didn't get to go. So
Yeah. We're
Stephanie, we
excited.
are
We hope to
excited
see
to
you
see
all
you.
there.
Yes. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
awesome. Thanks,
Bye.
Anna.
See ya.